Hey gang, welcome back to Style Solutions. As always, I'm Coach Greg, and today we're talking about, last time we talked about a high pressure, high volume, kind of an undisciplined striker. Today we're talking about a disciplined pressure striker. This is like your Muay Thai and boxing guys who are really good, staying tight, cutting off your ring space, and being dangerous, pinning you into corners, right? This is a very difficult thing to deal with, but I have a couple easy solutions for it. My two biggest solutions that I like to recommend to people: make them afraid of your power and make them afraid of your takedowns. Part of the reason that they can pressure into your range at will is because they don't feel intimidated not to. So if you think about like a guy like Francis Ngannou, guys are not backing him up. Now, it's not a size thing. It's a concern over the legitimate danger of what they're walking into. If you look at a guy like Israel Adesanya, guys don't pressure too much into his range because they're afraid of what's going to come at them. When you're sparring, I know you got to be careful though. So I'm going to phrase it this way. I have some buddies who are really good at like Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu, and when I spar them, they're giving me that kind of forward pressure, but I don't want to hurt my buddy, right? So there's kind of an in-between range that you can safely give them some tagging, and sometimes it's also just reminding yourself that while I'm doing this, because we're sparring nicely, in a fight, right, I'm not being as nice. So sometimes, it's kind of that recognition to yourself that, yeah, maybe they're walking me back a lot in sparring, I'm running into trouble. It's good training to learn to get out of it, but in real life, maybe this is not as nice, right? This light jab to a front kick that I'm throwing is not maybe as nice when they're actually coming at me. I like to let them walk back into my attacks, and then as they come forward, remember, this light cross that I'm throwing, yeah, I'm throwing it light because it's my buddy, but in a fight, I'm really trying to hurt this guy, and if a guy's constantly eating big shots every time he enters into your range, he's not going to put a lot of forward pressure on you. Same thing for takedowns. If this guy is concerned that every time I pressure into range, he takes me down, he's not going to put as much forward pressure on you. It's as simple as that. So develop a good reactive shot. Throw a jab and back up. Wait for him to start to back you into a corner, cover high, roll under, get your takedown. Let him walk into his own takedowns. What's going to eventually happen is he's going to start being less forward on this and realize that I can't just keep walking this guy down no matter how disciplined I am, because I'm going to keep getting taken down. Now, let's say the guy does that and he has a good sprawl. When you start combining stuff, like I come back here, I threaten the takedown, and then I come up with an uppercut, and then I start bouncing between level changes. This is where you start beating guys up as they come forward. I like to retreat a lot in my fighting. I like to let guys walk into my strikes. So, lateral techniques here, friend. I'm a big fan of front kick and side kick over roundhouse kicks anyway. Roundhouse kicks are nice finishing techniques, but I like to piece them as they come in. Leg kicks. If I'm chopping away at this guy's front leg, every time he comes in, pop. He backs it up, I chop away, and then I start to level change off that. He'll start to catch the message. Some other things that you can do. If you find yourself getting pinned in corners a little bit, you got to start getting good at frame, roll out, circle, and reset. You can also start using clinches and rotation to start changing this on them. So if I get backed up here and I feel like I've got no space, I might come in here, catch a collar tie. If I can get two on it and get to the plum clinch, I'll do that. But if not, I'll get to like a bicep. I'll step back and I'll start to rotate them in. And now, look at me. I'm the captain now. I back them up to the wall. And then I can start to tune them up a little bit and have a little bit of fun. I don't necessarily always like to say hold your ground, but sometimes there's a time for that too, where as they come forward, close the gap, right? If that's not your style, don't do it, but there is a benefit to sometimes just not letting them walk you down. Don't give up ground, right? Every time they come in here, start playing a close range game, right? Start playing a tight pocket game, right? And then roll out and start thinking about getting to that back three corners we talked about. Like, if I'm in here doing this kind of like peekaboo style footwork, changing big angle changes from in here. That type of stuff works really well too. If they want to be tight, okay, we'll play tight, and I'll start to tie up with you, throw some tight range boxing, roll out to a back corner. That type of stuff's great as well. Get in here, do a duck under. Don't give up ground sometimes. A lot of times they're doing this because they want you to feel like you're under pressure and you have no solutions. If I get a guy who's a better boxer than me, I'm not going to stay there. Like I said, at that point, I make him afraid of my power. Usually for me, it's my kicks. But if you got a good solid punch, let him feel it, right? Right, let him feel a little bit more power. And like I said, if it's a body, don't hurt him, but maybe give him a little bit more than you normally would, just to remind them that every time you enter my range, you're going to pay the price for it. So that's kind of my advice on dealing with a disciplined pressure fighter. As always, if there is a style you would like to see me cover, throw it in the comments below. If there's things you'd like to add to what I did, things that work for you, throw that in the comments below as well.